Hi, everyone. Welcome to podcast number 17. And today we're continuing on our journey through we're still in the head actually, but we're going to progress to the toes eventually. And Sue is going to tell us all about the teeth and how we can look after our teeth and things to be aware of. So take it away, Sue.
Thank you and welcome everyone, and Isabel's with us here today too, so that's awesome. And I want to talk about the teeth, and I wish I had my friend who is a dentist with us today, but I just couldn't snaffle her to get her to talk about teeth. I think she works with them every day and she just doesn't want to talk about them as well. So, but I guess we all have teeth. And what I find fascinating is, that saying, you don't look a gift, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah. So that actually comes from that story of, in olden times, that was how you told the health of someone. So if you got given, and this is terrible, but if you got given a wife, you would look at her teeth before you went off with her, because you'd know if she had bad teeth, she was potentially going to cause you some trouble. So you wouldn't take her on as a wife. So you'd go to the next one with the better teeth. Okay, so that's
that's horrible.
I know, a terrible thing. Yeah,
we have evolved.
We have evolved, thank goodness. So but we need teeth because we need to eat. We need to speak, and they're really important in our self-confidence, pretty much more so today than ever before. And our overall health and well-being is very dependent on our teeth and, whether they're intact, whether they are in good health, so they don't have any signs of decay or, degradation going on, and if they perfectly match. So your teeth are meant to perfectly match. So they're meant to top teeth meet bottom teeth. So the reason that is so important is because when you've got perfect teeth alignment with the maxilla, which is your top jaw, meeting with your mandible, your bottom jaw, that needs to have perfect alignment, because then you get reduced dental caries, you get better function of chew, which actually aids digestion, and because of that no risk of decay and holding bacteria in your teeth, you actually reduce risks of cardiac health and lung health. So these are the portal of health. So we've meant to be actually looking after them heaps better than we do. Okay, so we're going to talk a bit about that today, but just the facts that you might need to know. So they really are important. I'll just repeat, they're really important for our eating, speaking, self-confidence, and our overall health. So that's why they're so important, and we should love them. Each adult, if they have 4 wisdom teeth, but not everyone has 4 wisdom teeth. Some people only have uppers, some might only have lowers. It's a bit different for everybody. But if we have all 4 wisdom teeth present, an adult person will have 32 teeth. Okay, so that's a lot, because thinking about when we were babies and when we were growing up, we only had 20 teeth. So we go from having total of 20 baby teeth to them falling out and being replaced by 32 adult teeth. So those baby teeth, for interesting big long words that are hard to say, they're called deciduous teeth. And for the adult teeth, they're called, here we go, probably saying it wrong, a succedaneous teeth. Okay, and your top run's maxilla, bottom run mandible. Okay, so that's a bit of interesting fact. And interestingly enough too, when you're baby teeth, you have 10 at the top, 10 at the bottom. Isn't that a perfect world? Isn't it funny how the human body can just do that matching thing so well? I don't know, I find it fascinating. So and within these teeth, there is lots of different functions, because I don't know if you had a good look at your teeth, but you've got your canines, which are your big ones here at the front. And they're really strong teeth. They're pointed and they are for tearing food. Okay, so they really are important. They tear food. And, and you use them, people use them to open packages. Don't do that. That's actually bad for your teeth. Are you people, can I ask Isabel and Celeste, are you people who, people who pulled sticky tape and use their teeth? Are you those people?
No.
No, I've tried in my life. Yeah. Mine aren't that sharp.
I've ended up with too much sticky tape in my mouth. I don't like it. So it stopped it.
Excellent. And then we've got the molars. So these are the big double ones right down the back. Yeah. Okay, mine are full of fillings, so probably don't look at mine. So they're broad, they're flat on top, and they're for crushing and grinding food. So really good point of chewing. So we need, and that's why we have so many of them, because it's actually really important that we really chew our food to aid digestion. And that's why, I've known people in my life who've gone, oh yeah, I had too many holes in that, so I just let the dentist strip it out. Not the best idea. Could we keep our teeth in our head for as long as possible? Because that actually, we need the best digestion as possible for a long life. Okay, so keep your molars. Don't let the dentist take them out. Work hard, get the root canal if you need to. That's my suggestion. And then you've got your premolars. These are the pretty ones just next to your canines down the bottom there. And they basically share a bit of canine work, so a bit of the sharpness, and also a bit of the chewing and really breaking things down. So they're kind of the middle ground teeth. And then you've got your incisors. So these are one post. So these only have one post. Okay, they're not double posted, they're just one. And they are sharp and made for cutting food. So, when you got that big, beautiful, juicy apple, you just get in there and you bite it. Yeah, so that's what that's for. Any questions on our teeth on this point, girls? Are all your teeth intact is my question.
Yeah. I've had a few taken out, but they're all intact so far. But those that are left. I parted with my wisdom teeth very, very early.
Yeah, but that's very true, and it's very common. And the reason, particularly in Western society, people get their wisdom teeth removed is because typically they are too big. They're too big to fit in the mandible and the maxilla, and so it actually interferes with the teeth closing as perfectly as they need to. So they actually have to take those ones out so that you get proper jaw closure and the shape intact.
Yeah. Yes, and that is very, very important because, my daughter had her wisdom teeth removed recently, like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Was it painful?
Yes, it was a little bit. The recovery process was a little bit painful, and she got one of the sockets got dry socket.
Oh, dry socket.
She had to go to the dentist back again, and they had to do the procedure and help her with the pain. Because
they've got to pack it with that antibiotic sort of swab, and that means it's like partially open and ow.
Yeah, it was very, very painful for her. But now she's good, and I just wanted to say, because one of the reason why she had to remove her teeth was related to the alignment, of the teeth as well, but also because she breathes through the mouth because she's got a deviated septum.
Yep.
And we didn't really know, but then she suffers from allergies as well, pollen and grass and all of that. So she was having difficulty breathing, and then she went to the doctor, referred to the specialist.
Yeah,
and she has to have her another surgery, and it's all connected because the thing is that the nose, she needs this alignment, then the teeth, and then the problem was that the fact that she was breathing through the mouth is affecting her the joint. You know,
Yeah.
what's
The
called
temporomandibular joint.
that
Mm.
one is affecting this. And what the doctor said to her is that she needed to have all of these combined things done, even, you know, with the immunologies for the allergies,
Yeah.
and, you know, everything all combined, because this can lead to arthritis. And then
Ah.
he said, if you don't treat this, then this can be a quality of life issue, you know, when you are 30. So, yeah, so she's doing everything now.
Ah.
How important,
Good
you know,
for her. Mm.
all of these very related. She likes sugar. What can I say?
Ah, she's a sugar fiend. So, but this is it. All this talk is really important about we have to work so hard to look after our teeth because they are part of our overall health and everything is interconnected. And so, you know, and that's so from birth, when that baby is born and it starts developing its first teeth from 6 months, we have to start managing teeth from like, you know, even before 6 months sometimes, depending on when the teeth start coming out. And so, you know, you have to, like with little kiddos, you know, you have to start proper nutrition from an early age, you know, and cleaning. And because those little baby teeth, sometimes called milk teeth, can develop decay really easily. So we have to keep really good nutrition with kiddos. And the problem with kiddos, if they don't have that good nutrition, they don't have good dental hygiene, you know, to get the milk teeth are softer. They're not as resilient as adult teeth with their enamel, and they break down a lot more quickly. And, you know, and so this can lead to kids who are really unsettled, and because their teeth are decaying and they're sensitive. So you give them a drink and they start crying, you know, all of those sorts of things. It's not, so you have to really protect kids' teeth because they don't know how to do it themselves. So as adults, it's our job to do that. So, you know, we have to do that by, you know, giving them good food, you know, as soon as they can start chewing, you know, getting them into that action of, you know, using their tongue behind their teeth to swallow. So, you know, as soon as they can go to solids, using solids that are good solids, not solids that are full of sugar. Okay, their fluids, you know, milk drinks and all of those things are fine, you know, because sometimes they're still having breast milk. Sometimes, you know, they might still be using a supplemented formula, depending on how you've been able to, you know, raise your children. But, you know, as soon as they start having teeth, you have to start brushing them. You know, as soon as you got one tooth, brush it, because that builds the new habit for life of, you know, knowing that there's this fun thing that I can chew on. And some babies love, you know, because they're in that oral phase of psychology, they say, they love sticking stuff in their mouth and chewing, right? And so if you give them a toothbrush to chew when they're in the bath, it is actually also soothing on the other gums that have got teeth coming through. And so that's where you'll see little babies really getting stuck into that toothbrush because it's soothing too. So think about that as well. Because if we don't look after baby teeth well, and the little kids keep growing up, they may end up having to have extractions early. And what that actually has an effect on the adult teeth when they come through, because it means those adult teeth will come through earlier when the mandible or the maxilla is not actually developed enough for that tooth to come through. So that tooth will come through potentially crooked and smaller because it's had to come through too early. Okay, so that's where we start seeing, and, you know, and potentially then when the mandible and maxilla grows into that teenager, you'll have someone with littler teeth and a bigger mandible, so lots of gaps, lots of food trapping, more risk of decay. And, you know, those adult teeth you have, you will potentially, you know, have them from 15 to 80. So, you know, if you're lucky enough to get to 80, that's, you know, my math could be really poor here, 65 years where these things are exposed to all sorts of elements, and how are you going to look after them and make sure they stay healthy and well so you can stay healthy and well? So that's what you have to consider. So we've got to make sure we look after the baby teeth, because this is the foundation stuff that if we get that wrong, the adult stuff goes wrong. Okay, so loss of teeth early for kids will affect their eating, because if kids have got sore teeth or teeth missing, they can't chew. They can't eat some of the foods that everybody else is eating. And it particularly, in kids who get full dental clearances, and I know that might be surprising to people, but every day in Australia there is full dental lists happening in our children's hospitals of kids getting total teeth clearances at quite a young age. The reason for the total teeth clearance is because all of their teeth are rotten, and it's actually creating bacteria and leading to other problems in their general health and development. So they have to get all of their teeth removed under a general anaesthetic, which is dangerous in itself. And the reason that happens is for lots of reasons, but it's dangerous because now that child has got to wait for their adult teeth to come through to be able to eat properly, and that ability to form words can be really problematic, because remember, with our S's, what do we do with our S's? We stick our tongue behind our teeth. TH, the tongue just slips past the teeth. So if I've got no teeth, how do I get those words right?
Sorry. Don't get me started on that, because that was the hardest sound for me to make.
Yes. But just think if you had no teeth, Isabel.
The TH sound, that doesn't exist in Spanish.
The other thing I found interesting recently was our baby teeth hold the space for the big teeth to come through. So if you have to have a tooth extracted as a child, then the other teeth are just going to come together, because they're only held by muscles. They're not actually held. It's not the jaw, like the root being down in the jaw, that it keeps them in place. It's just the little muscles in the jaw.
And the other interesting thing is with kids, if they have rotten teeth and they don't get them sorted, the adult tooth will come through rotten at the top. So then you've got this adult tooth that's already started in a bad way. So can you see, I don't know, how important teeth are, and getting that dental care right from birth? Yeah, because that replacement of lower teeth, and when we've got those adult teeth erupting, happens from the 7 to 8 years through to those third molars, our wisdom teeth at the back. 21 years is sometimes when they come out, to 25 years sort of in there. But it's really hard, because if you've got an overbite, where it means the maxilla is further forward than the mandible, your dentist will pick that up quite early in your children, and then you end up at the orthodontist, and you end up with that fun thing called braces. Has anyone got experience with the braces with their children?
Oh, yeah, all three of them. In fact, we thought the youngest was going to dodge them. He had beautiful straight teeth, but there was an issue with his adult canine, one of his canines coming down. It was actually stuck in the palate in his mouth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently this is not uncommon. The teeth were just floating around up there, not really on location. And so he needed braces, damn it, because what they can do is it was a very interesting procedure, actually. They have a periodontist who was able to just peel back that palate to expose the tip of that tooth, and then put a little he cemented a little catch that had a chain on it, and then they were able to put that, put the brace, the braces were already on, and then they were able to guide that tooth down into position through the braces, and then and then line it all up, and it was amazing. But
that's fascinating.
I'm glad
they
that we
can do
did
that.
Mm.
Yeah. So how's his teeth now as an adult?
Yeah, beautiful teeth. Mm. And he's actually been able to accommodate all of his wisdom teeth as well. So bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, fun fact there.
I know. Well, yes. What about you, Isabel? Did your kids have braces?
No, no braces. I think we're lucky in that way. Because
Oh,
they got good alignment, but the wisdom teeth, those were like a little bit tricky. But I feel like they got them removed on time. So yeah, no, luckily nothing to do with braces.
oh, well, I know. One of my daughters had to have 4 teeth removed. She had to have 2 uppers and 2 lower molars. Her premolars removed because her teeth were too big. So and basically she was going to have this awful cramming problem if she kept them all. So she had to lose 4 of her teeth when she was, I think she was only 14, and they just said, yeah, sorry, you got to lose 4 teeth. You got a crowding problem. Yeah, so that was awful to watch. But anyway, there you go.
But good now, Sue. Like it was a good move.
Definitely, because now, like, both of my girls have perfectly matched teeth. They've never had a filling. They've never had any sort of dental problem ever because they've got the correct alignment. Because apparently the whole thing is, if we have perfect alignment of our teeth and the correct spacing and, we just brush our teeth twice a day, we should actually today, because of our fluoridated water and everything that we have in our society, we shouldn't actually ever get holes in our teeth. So, and my girls through orthodontic care have that proper alignment still today. And so now they're 24 and 23 and, don't have a filling.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, I mean, there must be something in it. Yeah. I mean, these people do it for a living, so they should know, I guess. Anyway, so some interesting facts about dental health of all Australians, which I'm always sort of interested in. And the World Health Organization recognises that good oral health is a fundamental to overall health and well-being of humans. So they even get it right. So in 2020 to 2021, around 1 in 2 Australians aged 15 years and over saw a dental professional in the last 12 months. Every second person is at least seeing a dentist once a year, which I was surprised at because I thought dental care in this country was a bit substandard because it isn't under the Medicare scheme. And, you do have to fund it yourself if you're not in sort of, depending on your eligibility, if you're earning more money, then you either have to access dental care through your private provider or just pay for it all yourself. So, yeah. About 7 in 10 children aged 5 to 14 brush their teeth with toothpaste at least twice a day. And that was better than I thought. So 7 out of 10 kids are brushing their teeth, at least twice a day. So I thought that was impressive. And in 2019 to 2020, about 67,000 hospitalisations for dental conditions may have been prevented with earlier treatment. So what they're saying there is, so people having to get dental extractions and go into hospital services and things like that could have avoided all of that if they had noticed a sore tooth or gone to the dentist every 6 months, like is recommended, brush their teeth twice a day, didn't eat sugary foods, those sorts of things. And over 1 million dental prescriptions were dispensed in Australia each year from 2013 to 2020, which surprised me.
So what is a dental prescription per se, Sue?
So that's defined further in because this information is all from the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare from the Australian government.
Yeah,
so I'll make sure I put the link so people, people who might be interested in these facts can have a look at them a bit more closely. But what that is, it's about prescriptions that are prescribed for the purposes of reducing inflammation, infection and pain.
So it's for drugs, for medication.
Yes.
Oh,
So either it's pain relief, antibiotics, that sort of thing.
Interesting.
And that comes from people who have got infected gums, gingivitis, and typically those things come from poor daily dental hygiene. Yeah. So it is impacting people's health and well-being. I don't know. Do you think is it a habit that we're not getting into? I don't know. What's your thoughts on the reason? I mean, because great dental care is as simple as brushing your teeth twice a day, morning and night. As soon as the first tooth appears in a baby's mouth, you start toothbrushing. You basically use from 18 months of age. So little kiddo, like little babies can't use fluoridated toothpaste. So that's why there's special toothpaste for babies. But, from 18 months onwards, a fluoridated toothpaste is good. Most parts of Australia have fluoride in their water now. Avoid sugary, acidic or carbonated fizzy drinks. All those fizzy foods and drinks, because they just really target the enamel. I mean, the enamel in our teeth is very strong, it has some amazing tensile strength, which is just phenomenal. But sugar and carbonated things really are, it's kryptonite.
And I wonder, Sue, just to pop in quickly, because there is more, processed food happening, and we don't actually see or recognise, I don't think, that formulas are processed foods, and so infant formula, and then a lot of food that's there, like pre-prepared packaged stuff for babies, it's got a lot of sugar in it. It's all industrial grade. It looks more like a list on a medication or a pharmacy script than it does food. And we feed that to our kids because it's convenient and it's packaged as health food quite often. And I wonder if it's sneaking in there, as well as the sweetened milk drinks. There's just so many iced coffees and chocolates and stuff.
Well, when you think about it, those little pureed fruits and stuff like that come in pouches even. Some of them are too acidic for the age group's teeth, and actually starts breaking down those teeth. And when you look at the amount of preservatives and additives in there, I think we should just try and maybe get the original piece of fruit and start chewing.
Because it's like having a lollipop. I mean, we wouldn't give the kids a lollipop, but we'll give them a tube of yogurt that's got lots of sugar and fruit in it, or a roll-up or something like that they're chomping on or sucking on for, over a period of time.
And it's also, it comes into habits as well. So, like for me, I have a particular habit of drinking Pepsi Max. I really drink probably too much Pepsi Max, right? But I can remember when I had my children and they were little, I actually stopped drinking it pretty much the whole time they were growing up, because I didn't want them to drink it, because, ultimately I'm their biggest role model. So if I'm walking around drinking fizzy drink, they will probably want a fizzy drink, won't they?
Yeah.
So
that must have taken some willpower.
I think it was always easier for me, and the way my brain works is to stop doing something if it's going to have an impact upon another person. If it impacts me, I don't care. Like, it's quite funny. Like, even with smoking, like the way to stop smoking was the impact it was having on other people, not on me. Yeah, so I always have to disassociate myself from myself to actually stop doing something.
Yeah, good mind hack.
Yeah, it is. Just a weird way your brain works. But I guess that's the thing, is what we have to be mindful of, what we're role modeling our kiddos, and I mean, I know from, I've got some beautiful friends who work in children's theatre, and they would, after a day of dental clearances from kiddos, they would go home really fatigued. And it was emotional fatigue. It was that fatigue of knowing that little people were drinking, like actual bottles with teats on them with Coke in, and they were seeing that. So when the kids came out of recovery with no teeth, their parents were there with their favourite drink, which was Coke in a bottle, and trying to say to the parents, like, this is why your baby's lost all their teeth. Like, could we stop doing that? And here's why. And, but they really love it and they get upset if they can't have it. So it is really hard. I get it, but, I just feel like, because for my friends, they just found it so hard to get through those days, Isabel, have you got any sort of experiences with your, how to get kids to eat healthy? I mean, you've got beautiful little grandbabies. What does your family do to keep them on track and not do the sugar and the fizzy drinks?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think my daughter is very good. She's good because, she's got 2 boys, and the boys eat a lot. I mean, they go and attack the refrigerator. And she buys a lot of fruit, so she has the real thing.
Yeah.
But also, when she goes out, she does also do, the package stuff. But she's very mindful, and yeah, she just goes to the shops and buy a lot of fruit because they just eat so much that it's very difficult to keep up.
Yeah, they do replicate it in a phenomenal pace, little children. You forget how much you actually have to feed them, don't you? Yeah. So the other things are drinking plenty of tap water, because our tap water is fluoridated. So we're actually helping ourselves by just drinking tap water. So if you like cold tap water, keep it cold in the fridge, but let's drink it. Go to the dentist, ideally every 6 months. And in Australia, we actually have a program where eligible children from the age of 2 to, I think it is 17, qualify for 6 monthly dental care for free under our Australian government sort of health service. So, and that actually started in 2014 in response to a really significant crisis they were seeing in children's teeth. So that's why now you can go to your local dentist, and they are sort of backed by the Australian government to support the dental checkups, fluoridation, teeth clean for all children 2 to 17.
I wonder what the uptake's like on that, Sue. It'd be interesting to see statistics like over, 5 years or 10 years.
Well, apparently it has increased notably, and that's why now in the last data, with them having 7 out of 10 children are brushing their teeth twice a day, is actually amazing, because comparatively before that it was something like it was 2 to 3 out of 10 children were brushing their teeth twice a day. So it's just having that contact with the dentist sort of going, are you brushing twice a day, are you flossing, that sort of thing. So they're actually going to a professional who's saying, are you doing this?
Sorry, I was just going to say, it's also good to remind yourself, how expensive it is to go to the dentist, because my daughter, that's the main reason why she enforces, the brushing of the teeth and, doing all this. They don't do, fizzy drinks or anything like that, just water, just because she's mindful of, how expensive it is to go to the dentist.
Exactly. Like I know myself, because I use it with my private health insurance, but there's still a gap.
Yeah.
So you still have to, pay that $90 on top of what your private health insurer has already paid for, but remembering that you paid the private health insurance to start off with. Yeah. So it's an expensive habit.
Swings and merry-go-rounds.
Particularly when you've got... Particularly when you've got to do a root canal. Has anyone who's here in the room's had a root canal?
No, touch wood, Sue.
Yeah, I had one. Yeah, when I was a teenager.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I had one a few years ago, and it was a common. My dentist is very fair, but it's just the time, because you don't do it in one go. You've got to keep going back, and I don't know. I was a bit over it by the end, so I don't want to go there again.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, if you play any sports where your teeth could get damaged, so like we're talking your footies, your hockeys, your what else, girls? What else is there that just, if you're a boxer, your martial arts, what else is there?
These are the main ones. I mean, cricket, you're wearing a
cricket
helmet with that face mask anyway. But
true.
Hmm.
Yeah, but anywhere where there is a risk of you getting your teeth bumped, I think you really have to make sure you've got a mouth guard, because to get a tooth knocked out, not a lot of fun. And also, any sort of splints or night guards, or any sort of, plates or anything to keep your teeth beautiful, particularly if you have had braces as a young person and you're meant to wear your retainer at night just to keep that alignment. There is a good reason for that alignment, so try to keep it. And if you're a teeth grinder, so you might have a lot of secondary traumatic stress in your life. It could be that you're a frontline healthcare worker. It could be that, you're working in just a stressful everyday job, and you have a lot of stress in your life. So you're probably a teeth grinder. If that's the case, then, wearing a guard to prevent that top enamel from being destroyed and leading to dental caries would probably be awesome as well. And the big one, which I think we've brought up every podcast, and this is number 17, so for 17 podcasts, quit smoking. I think, have we mentioned that every podcast for 17 podcasts now? So basically, these are the things that we can do to look after ourselves. And, just being interested and noticing when your teeth are hurting. Don't let them sit for too long hurting. Go and get them checked out.
Be brave. So many people avoid the dentist because it's not pleasant. You're a bit vulnerable lying back in that chair, trusting someone to stick their fingers in your mouth and maybe touch something that's really sore. It's a lot of people. I know so many people who say, I haven't been to the dentist for 5 years, and it's not because of the price of it. It's just they don't want to go, and they're fearful of what might be found.
Yep,
they're just sort of sticking their heads in the sand.
100%. And sometimes people, when they were kids, had really traumatic dentist visits.
Absolutely, yep.
Which led to them really having a fear of dentistry as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell. I'll put up a slide that gives you some more handy links to some of the information I've put in here today, particularly to that sort of link about the child dental benefits scheme that the Australian government created for all children, which is really important. And also it gives you links to like all your local dental clinics if you needed free dental care, because maybe you can't afford dental care, but it is a right of yours to have it. So, you need to be mindful that, you can access it. And there's lots of links to good places you can go. So thanks for that.
Thanks, Sue. That's really interesting.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And well, we hope that you find this episode helpful. And if you enjoyed this episode, please let us know in the comment section below. You can tell us, what you think, what your experience are, and, anything that you want to share with us. You can also like and share this episode and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Till next episode. Bye-bye.